Somewhere above you right now, there is a wound in the sky with your name already burned into it. Almost 3,000 years ago, in the temples of Babylon, priests looked up into the dark and swore the gods had written every human fate in fire and split that fire into 12 pieces. It started as astronomy, not destiny. Babylonian priest astronomers cut the sky into 12 equal doors, each 30 degrees wide, and tracked which door the sun stood behind. On the day a king was born, a war was declared, a harvest failed. When the idea crossed the sea into Greece a few centuries later, the Greeks did something the Babylonians never did. They didn't just track the doors, they filled them with bodies. Because to a Greek, a constellation was never just a shape in the dark. It was a memorial, a punishment, a debt, finally paid in starlight. Somewhere in every one of these 12 signs is a god who wanted something he had no right to take. A hero who paid for one moment of pride with his life. Someone who was punished for a crime that was never truly theirs. And running through more of these stories than any other single name is Zeus, king of Olympus, a god who could never stop wanting, and who spent eternity turning his guilt into stars. 12 doors, 12 fates, already lived out by someone else so you wouldn't have to guess at the ending. Before we open the first one, if stories like this pull something loose in you, subscribe now. There are 11 more doors after this, and every single one of them is a grave, with a story still breathing inside it. The first door is fire, Aries, the 21st of March to the 19th of April. Long before it was a birth sign, it was a ram, but not an ordinary one. Its fleece was solid gold, and it could fly. A cloud nymph named Nephele sent it to save her 2 children, Phrixus and Helle, from a father who had agreed to sacrifice them to end a famine gripping his kingdom. The ram caught them on its back and tore across the sky over open water. Helle's grip failed first. She fell, and the strait where she drowned still carries her name today. Phrixus alone reached the shores of Colchis alive. In gratitude, he sacrificed the ram that had just saved his life and hung its golden fleece in a sacred grove, the very fleece that would one day drive Jason and a generation of heroes to madness and murder. And the gods lifted the ram's spirit into the stars, where it still burns, the sign of the ones born reckless, born first, born already running before they know where the fire is taking them. The second door is Earth, Taurus, the 20th of April to the 20th of May. On a beach in Phoenicia, a princess named Europa was gathering flowers when a bull walked out of the sea, white as bone, gentle as a lamb, its breath sweet as orange blossom. She climbed onto its back without fear. The moment she did, the bull rose and ran into the waves and kept running until Phoenicia had vanished behind her. It was Zeus. He had wanted her the instant he saw her, and a king does not ask permission for the things he wants. He only decides how he's going to take them. He carried her all the way to Crete, and an entire continent still carries her name. The bull he wore that day was set among the stars exactly where he left it, patient, unmoving, because Taurus does not chase. Taurus waits and takes and does not let go. The third door is air, Gemini, the 21st of May to the 20th of June. 2 brothers, born the same night, called twins their entire lives, but only one of them was ever going to die. Castor was mortal, son of a Spartan king. Polydeuces was the son of Zeus, and immortal. They rode together, fought together, sailed with Jason after the very golden fleece Aries had left behind. Then, in a bloody dispute over stolen cattle, Castor fell, bleeding out in his brother's arms. Polydeuces was offered eternity on Olympus, alone. He refused to take a single day of it. He begged his father to split his immortality in half, to spend the rest of forever trading days between the light and the dead, if it meant never being separated from his brother again. Zeus was moved enough to grant it. When the twins finally rose into the sky together, refusing to be parted even by death itself, that is the door you were born under, if you've ever carried someone else's weight as if it were your own. The fourth door is water, Cancer, the 21st of June to the 22nd of July. While the hero Heracles was drowning a nine-headed serpent in the swamps of Lerna, the goddess Hera, who hated Heracles with a hatred that outlived her patience, sent a crab to bite at his heel and slow him down. It was a small, doomed act of loyalty. Heracles crushed it without breaking stride, but Hera never forgot a single soul who fought for her, however briefly, however small. She lifted the broken crab into the heavens as thanks, right beside the very serpent it had died trying to protect. That is Cancer, the sign of the ones who hold on long after holding on stops making sense, who would rather be crushed standing next to someone than survive by walking away. The fifth door is fire again. Leo, the 23rd of July to the 22nd of August. Somewhere in Nemea prowled a lion no blade could cut, and no arrow could pierce. Its hide was harder than bronze. It was Heracles' first labor, and he learned fast that weapons were useless against it, so he did the only thing left. He cornered the lion in its own cave and strangled it, bare-handed, in the dark. Hera, who had sent the beast to kill him and watched it fail instead, still placed it among the stars, not out of love for the hero who beat it, but out of respect for a monster that had made a god's enemy fight for his life with nothing but his hands. Leo is not the sign of the strongest. It is the sign of the ones who were never meant to be caught, and weren't. If that last one just put a chill through you, that's the moment to hit like. It's how we know to keep opening doors. The sixth door is Earth. Virgo, the 23rd of August to the 22nd of September. Long before any of this, gods and mortals lived together on the same earth, in an age so peaceful it was remembered as golden. One goddess loved that age more than any other, Astraea, goddess of justice, who walked among humans and trusted them completely. But the golden age ended. Humans turned to greed, to lying, to killing each other over land and gold. And one by one, the gods abandoned the earth in disgust, all except Astraea, who stayed, hoping. Long after every other immortal had given up on us, she was the very last of them to leave. When she finally rose into the sky, she carried her scales with her, and she has not come back down since. Virgo is not the sign of the naive. It is the sign of the ones who hope the longest and grieve the hardest once hope finally runs out. The seventh door hangs right beside her. Libra, the 23rd of September to the 22nd of October. Astraea's own scales, lifted into the stars the same night she was, still weighing a world she no longer lives in. She left the judging to us. Somewhere on Earth right now, someone born under this sign is doing exactly what she once did, trying to balance a scale that was never fair to begin with, and refusing to look away from it, even when looking away would be so much easier. The eighth door is water, and it is the door of pride, punished, Scorpio, the 23rd of October to the 21st of November. Orion was the greatest hunter who ever lived, and he knew it. He boasted, loudly and often, that there was not one creature on this earth he couldn't kill. The earth itself heard him. Gaia, mother of all living things, took the threat personally, and she didn't send a hero or a monster to answer it. She sent a scorpion small enough to hide in the grass, patient enough to wait, and it stung the greatest hunter alive once, in the heel, and that was enough to end him completely. The gods placed them both in the sky as a permanent lesson. Orion in the winter sky, the scorpion in the summer, positioned so precisely that to this day, one always sinks beneath the horizon the moment the other begins to rise. They are never in the sky together again. That is Scorpio, the sign that does not forget an insult and does not need to be big to be fatal. The ninth door is fire, but it burns with grief. Sagittarius, the 22nd of November to the 21st of December. Chiron was not like the other centaurs. Where they were wild and violent, Chiron was the wisest being alive, a healer and teacher, who trained half the heroes of Greece with more patience than any god had ever shown him. One evening, while Heracles was visiting, a fight broke out with other centaurs, and in the chaos, one of Heracles' arrows tipped in poison strong enough to kill a hydra grazed Chiron's leg by pure accident. Chiron was immortal. He could not die from it. He could only suffer, endlessly, in agony that never faded and never ended. In the end, the only mercy left to him was to give his immortality away completely, trading it so that Prometheus, chained to a mountain, tortured for the crime of giving humanity fire, could finally go free. Only then was Chiron allowed to die. Only then did the gods lift him into the sky. Sagittarius is not the reckless archer people assume it is. It is the sign of the one who suffered the longest and still chose, at the very end, to spend his pain on saving somebody else. The 10th door is Earth, and it belongs to a coward who became a hero by accident. Capricorn, the 22nd of December to the 19th of January. When the monster Typhon, a creature so vast his head scraped the stars, so violent even Zeus feared him, attacked Mount Olympus, every god fled. Pan, the wild god of the countryside, dove into a river in blind panic, trying to transform into a fish to escape, and only managed to change half of himself before the terror overtook him completely. He came out of the water with the horns and legs of a goat and the tail of a fish. Typhon caught Zeus anyway, tore the sinews from his body, and left the king of the gods crippled on a mountainside, helpless for the first time in his existence. It was Pan, the coward, who couldn't even finish turning into a fish, who found where the sinews were hidden and stole them back, restoring Zeus to full power. For that one act of accidental courage, Zeus placed him in the sky exactly as he'd been caught, half goat, half fish, neither one thing nor the other. Capricorn is the sign of the ones who never feel brave enough, right up until the one moment it matters most. The 11th door is Air, Aquarius, the 20th of January to the 18th of February. On a hillside near Troy, a shepherd boy named Ganymede was said to be the most beautiful mortal who had ever lived, so beautiful that Zeus, watching from Olympus, could not look away. Zeus sent his own eagle down to earth, and it seized the boy mid-stride and carried him, screaming, all the way up into the clouds. He never touched the ground again. He was made cupbearer to the gods, forced to pour their wine for eternity, taken from everyone he had ever known for the crime of being beautiful enough for a god to notice. When he was finally placed among the stars, he was given an eternity of pouring water now, instead of wine, endlessly, from a jar that never empties. Aquarius is the sign of the ones who give and are still, somehow, never once asked what they wanted for themselves. The 12th door, the last one, is water. Pisces, the 19th of February to the 20th of March. When Typhon came for Olympus, it wasn't only Pan who ran. Aphrodite, goddess of love, grabbed her son Eros and fled with him to the edge of a river, and when the ground began to shake behind them, there was no more time to think of anything graceful or godlike. They threw themselves into the water and became fish, side by side, and so they would never lose each other in the current. They tied their tails together with a single cord before the river swept them both to safety. When the danger passed, the gods lifted that image into the sky exactly as it happened. Two fish, bound to each other by a single thread, forever swimming in opposite directions, forever unable to fully break away. Pisces is the last door, and maybe the truest one, the sign of the ones who love so hard, they tie themselves to another person, and spend the rest of their life discovering they can never quite swim free. 12 doors, 12 gods, heroes, monsters, and mistakes, all frozen mid-story and hung in the sky, where nobody could ever take them down again. None of them were placed there because the future needed predicting. They were placed there because someone, a mother, a brother, a god, who couldn't undo what he'd already done, needed somewhere to put their grief where it would last forever. That's the part no horoscope app will ever tell you. Your sign was never a prediction. It was a warning, written by people who had already lived through it and didn't want you walking in blind. Aries warns you what recklessness costs. Taurus warns you what wanting too hard can turn you into. Gemini warns you what you'll sacrifice for the people you refuse to let go of. Every single door hanging in that sky is a story somebody else already survived or didn't, so that you might recognize the shape of your own life before it's too late to change anything. So tell me, in the comments right now which door was yours. Tell me if the story landed closer to your own life than you expected it to. Because almost 3,000 years ago, standing under the exact same sky you're standing under tonight, someone looked up and saw their whole life already written in fire above them. 12 doors are still burning up there. One of them has always had your name on it. The only question left is whether you'll recognize it before it closes or after.